Well, hello there, and welcome to this episode of The Terri Cole Show. I want to start with a question. Since Mother's Day is right around the corner, does Mother's Day bring up hard feelings for you? Do you find yourself frustrated where you're walking down the card aisle and all the Hallmark cards you read, you're like, yeah, this does not apply to my situation with my mother or my maternal impactor, whoever that person may be? Or does it just give you anxiety to think about Mother's Day because you have a difficult relationship with your own mother? If the answer is yes to any of those, well, then this episode, my friend, is for you, because in today's video, I'm going to be helping you handle any grief you may be feeling around Mother's Day. And also I'm giving you alternate ideas of how you can manage, celebrate, and honor Mother's Day, no matter what kind of a mother experience you yourself had. So before we get into it, if you happen to be new to my YouTube channel, well, hello and welcome. Please introduce yourself in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time I roll out something new, which is every Tuesday and every Thursday. And since I make it for you, I wouldn't want you to miss it, I love all of the questions and the comments that you guys post in this YouTube channel. It's really my favorite, and I love to highlight them. So this is from My Hot Tea, and this is under the video, Unsatisfied in Life, a 6-step process to live in more fulfillment. Thank you, Terri. This episode is phenomenal. The step-by-step process you've illustrated provides a great map to navigate toward the results anyone may seek. Thank you for reminding me about the importance of gratitude. I find it difficult to slow things down and focus on myself. You have inspired me today to do exactly that. Well, I am so excited to hear that, My Hot Tea. Thanks for taking a minute to leave a comment. It is inspiring, not just me, but I have no doubt it is also inspiring other people. All right, so now let's move it on into today's episode. So, Mother's Day. Oh, it can be so complicated. From being a therapist for 25 years, I've seen every reaction you can imagine to Mother's Day. But the ones that are hardest are for the people who have complicated, difficult, or absent relationships with their mother. So, even if those people have become mothers themselves, Mother's Day can still bring up painful experiences. And just because you might have had a less than stellar mother yourself, for whatever their reasons were, that doesn't mean, obviously, that, many, many, many of my clients turned into great mothers themselves. But it's really about the child within you and how she feels on Mother's Day. Because really, we never stop wanting our parents to be healthy parents. Like, we need our parents' love. We want our parents' love, even if they're unhealthy or even if they were incapable of giving it to us in the package that we wish it came in. So, one of the first steps, and all this will be in your guide, terricole.com/guide, but we need to mourn the dream of the mother that we wish we had, right? So it's like accepting how it was and the limitations that your maternal impactor or your mother figure, because again, you guys, this doesn't have to be your biological mother. It could be whatever mother figure was in your life, because that's who influenced you. And if you have a mother wound, their behavior is what caused that wound. I think it's very difficult. Children are like endlessly optimistic, and the child within each of us, it's almost like we're seeking a do-over when we didn't have a good parent. And you can see this in your romantic relationships too, a lot of times, or even in friendships. It's like we will be repeating, if you had a punitive mother, let's say, or a narcissistic mother, you may find that you're drawn to friendships where you're playing out this same type of thing, which can be extremely painful. But again, what is that? That's the child within, according to me, I visualize it like the child within seeking a do-over, being in a similar situation, but wanting a better ending than you got. So the process of walking through grieving and mourning the dream that you had for the kind of mother that you want. Because a lot of times, if you had a less than stellar or less than nurturing or less than present mother, you had friends who had good mothers and you saw that. This creates a longing, right? Where we're like, wow, how much I wish my parent or my mother were like this person's mother. And how painful that is, that sense of longing, but we have to write about it because this is how we honor the child within feelings. So I'll give you prompts in the guide, terricole.com/guide, to identify, and then you'll journal about your dreams and mourning that loss. And then we'll do a ritualistic burn of what you've written, which I think can be extremely helpful. A really important aspect of this too is there's a lot of unconscious material when we're talking about having any kind of a mother wound. And it's like the unconscious feelings, we really have to bring them to the fore. So looking at the actual questions, which I'll provide in the guide for you, but, was your mother capable of being present for you? Did she teach you how to manage your feelings by managing her own feelings? Was she attuned to you? Because this is the thing, that if you had a parent that wasn't attuned to you, it just plants all these seeds of how you feel doesn't matter. What is happening for you doesn't matter. We learn to start focusing out. How can I get approval or how can I get attention if we're not getting it from that parent figure? It becomes performative. A lot of the time, we know, well, if I get good grades or if I become a star athlete, like there's other ways. But again, what we're learning is that who we are and the way we are as isn't enough, that we sort of have to do something to earn our keep. So I will provide you some questions and some prompts so you can write this out in the guide. Another experience is you really creating Mother's Day, if you are a mother and even if you're not, to have this be a day of self-celebration, right? Love on yourself for surviving what you've survived, but really nurturing, taking care of yourself, doing something that feels good, that is fun, that makes you feel loved, right? And stay away from. Part of me just feels like we're so inundated around Mother's Day with these images of perfect mother and daughter relationships, and you see the commercials and you see the cards and all this stuff, and it can be extremely painful if that wasn't your experience to be constantly seeing that. So part of me feels like maybe staying away from the internet, staying away from watching stuff on television, and really just focusing on how do you want to feel. So instead of it feeling like, the absence of that good mother that you wished you had, it's creating an experience of nurturance for yourself. There's other ways to celebrate too. So can you think of ways to celebrate in a non-traditional way? This is just like a made-up day. Do you know what I mean? You can let the day go by altogether and say nothing about it, right? You can not use your brain cells. And if you're a mother, then hopefully someone will be celebrating you. But I also like the idea of doing something non-traditional on these traditional holidays, if they're holidays that are painful and bring up painful experiences for you or make you feel less than. So think about, who are the mother figures in your life who did show up for you? Can you celebrate them? Right? Can you express gratitude for those people? Because so much of the time, it's funny, when you're seeking, I can see this. I see this in my husband. His was more around a father wound. I see this in myself, which is more around a father wound as well. But it's like we will find the substitutes in life. So I guarantee you, if you take a minute and you had a disappointing mother relationship, if you take a little bit of time and think about, you naturally were drawn to other people who could fill that role for you. So think about it. Who were the mother figures that did step up, that were amazing, that were in your front row, that were cheering you on? And maybe celebrate them or write them a note, right? And, if you are someone and you're partnered with a mother, then celebrate your partner, especially if they are mothering better than your own mother did, And it could also be, any great mothers in your life. You can celebrate them. You can have a brunch, get a gathering of chosen family. I feel like that's something that always saved me, especially when I was living in New York and when I was single, is that I would always gather my friends around anything that was painful or any time I wasn't going home for a holiday. But anything that was painful that brought up a sense of lack. And a lot of my friends had similar wounds. So a lot of times we would just go around and talk about our experience. It's sort of like you have a talking stick and you just go from one person to the next person. But being in a safe environment with people who absolutely love you and that you feel loved by them is super duper important, because the thing is, we don't have to. Like, we literally don't have to participate. We're grown up now. So you really can fully give yourself permission to opt out altogether and just decide that it's going to be a day of self-care and self-compassion. But what I'm really talking about is prioritizing how you're feeling. Because if you have a mother wound, you probably learned early on in life to not prioritize the way that you feel, right? What we learn is to prioritize how other people feel. And so it could be a radical act of self-care to just decide that this is going to be a day for you and that you're going to do exactly what you want to do. And listen, maybe you had a great mom when she's passed away. So if you had a great mom who's transitioned and you feel sad, you can honor that parent who passed, right? Create a tribute, a memorial, invite friends to tell stories about them. You can even do a Zoom type gathering. And you can also write them a letter, right, of appreciation. And if you had an absent mother, if there was abandonment in your life, you can also write a letter to your mother, basically honoring your feelings about what happened. Because so much of the time, my therapy clients, if I talk about writing letters or and I'm not even talking about really making contact in real life, I'm talking about just writing a letter that they would read to me and that I would witness them compassionately. A lot of times they're like, well, what's that going to do? Especially if someone has passed away. They're like, how is that helpful? Or I don't want to send a letter to this parent that I'm estranged from. And it's really not realizing how powerful it is to honor the way that you feel. And you don't need that other person to be present or to even be alive to honor your feelings and to write a letter. It'll still do something for your heart if your heart is heavy. Writing it out is helpful. And the last thing I want to say about this day is that if you need support, if you're feeling blue, if you're feeling low on this day, ask for support, right? Tell the truth to the people you love and the people who love you that you're feeling bad, right? And there are people in your life, just the way that you're there for your friends, there are people in your life who would be honored to be there for you. And I feel like for many of us in this crew, it's hard to ask for support. We're always the first one shooting our hand up to give support. But asking for it can be really difficult, especially if you are a high-functioning codependent or an overgiver or an overfunctioner. But asking and allowing the people in your life to support you when you're in pain or when you're feeling low, that's really, really loving to do. It's loving of them to do it, but it's also really loving of you. Like, it's loving from you to them, because it's really making ourselves vulnerable to the people who love us. Listen, having parents is complicated. Whoever the caregivers were in your life, I know for sure that those wounds run really, really deep. I created the Mother Wound course specifically for this because so many of you were like, will you please be my internet good mother? I'm like, sure, I sure will, knowing that many of you have mother wounds. So I created a mother wound course. If you're interested in that, it's in the guide. It's terricole.com/mother wound. And I also have a father wound course that is coming up in June, because so many of you have taken the mother wound course and now you're saying you are looking to take the father wound course, or many of you have a father wound and maybe didn't feel like you had a mother wound. Either way, I hope that this episode added value to your life, maybe sparked some new creative ideas of things that you can do to self-soothe, to take care. You don't just have to like grit your teeth and get through it. Let's celebrate you on this day. Let's take care of you on this day. Even if you are not celebrating in some traditional way, you don't need to. You're grown up. You're allowed to do whatever it is that you want to do. So I hope this added value to your life. Let me know. You know, I hang out mostly on Instagram. I hope you guys have the most amazing week. And as always, take care of you.